Welcome back. We are just coming off of 2025's banner year for the tech space. The Nasdaq up better than 23%, powered by AI and surging productivity. Alphabet, for example, touching a $4 trillion market cap weeks after NVIDIA touched a $5 trillion market cap, underscoring how central AI has become to growth and market leadership. But this phase of tech is also deepening into national security. It's about power, security, as AI rapidly reshapes America's defense capabilities. Companies are ramping up AI investment, expanding production as geopolitical risks remain elevated, from the Middle East to Latin America to Asia. Joining me now is 8VC managing partner and Palantir co-founder Joe Lonsdale. Joe, great to see you.
Good to see you, Maria.
Thank you so much for being here. And you've known this all along. You've been investing in defense technology and winning big on all of this. Assess the backdrop for us. Why is this still central to your investment?
Well, you know, there's a lot of new possibilities thanks to AI, and if there's new possibilities in defense, if our enemies can do them and we don't, that's a big problem. So it's really changing very quickly. And, you know, we have a great Department of War. They're bold. They want the new best ideas to win. They're changing how everything works. You're seeing it play out with what's happening with Venezuela, with competence. And, you know, it's going to be important all around the world to stop the bad guys.
But specifically on AI, how does AI momentum become so critical to defense?
Well, you know, it changes what's possible with autonomy, right? And so all of a sudden, the best way to fight a battle, in many cases, it might be to have swarms in the air, swarms in the ground, swarms in the water. You have awareness in the battlefield. You have things you could do you just couldn't do before with thousands of these things. And advanced manufacturing becomes very important. You need a lot more stuff to put out there. You need to make it smart.
We love defense tech. I am a huge proponent of national security and ensuring that we've got what we need. What did you make of President Trump's idea to have a defense budget of $1.5 trillion in 2027?
I am a huge fan of President Trump and what he's doing and standing up to Venezuela and hopefully Iran and Cuba and others. You know, I think a lot of our defense that we spend money on right now is wasted, and a lot of it is really, really important. And so I probably personally would cut the waste before I would raise it that much, but I love it. He wants America to be strong.
So you want a surgical look at where that money is going to be spent?
You know, a lot of defense is critical and scares our adversaries. A lot of parts of defense are more like jobs programs. We should cut the jobs programs, put the money into scaring our adversaries. Okay. That's my take.
That's fair. Well, look, you're investing, what, about $12 million? That's a small investment for you. $12 million in Nigerian drone startup Terra Industries. This company is focused on drones and autonomous systems to protect critical infrastructure like power and mining assets. Tell us about this company. What did you see in Terra Industries that made this the right bet for you? How big of an opportunity is this?
Yeah, you know, Maria, I'm an optimist in that I think we're going to take down the communists in Latin America. I think there's a good chance we make Middle East work a lot better if we confront the Iranian mullahs. I'm really hoping we do that more strongly. I think Africa, in our lifetimes, will be the place where we have to confront bad guys. There's going to be Islamist terrorists there for as long as we're alive. You know, they're going around slaughtering Christians. The adversaries are going around taking over resources. We have to fight back for Africa. So seeing what was going on there, I want us to find who are the most competent people we could trust and partner with, and they're going to build great things around Africa, and we're going to hopefully bring some of our assets to partner with them as well.
I love the idea that the Trump administration is monetizing the balance sheet, if you will, right? They're taking stakes in certain companies. They took a stake in Intel. But if you're a markets person and obviously, you know, a capital markets believer, you don't want government invested in your company, right? But we just spoke with Chris Kubasik, CEO of L3Harris, and he came on the show with Secretary Michael Duffy. And they were talking about how the U.S. Department of War is going to take taking a stake in their spin-out. They're doing an IPO of their missile business. Okay, they're doing Tomahawk missiles, and they're going to take that business public. What is your take on that? About government taking stakes in some of these defense companies?
You know, it's interesting because if you're going to spend a lot of money helping a company scale, I think the taxpayer should get some money back. I don't want government being voting shareholder. I don't think government should be making decisions for businesses, but if we're going to give a bunch of money to help something scale, I think we should exit at some point. It should be well defined, but why not get some money back for the taxpayer? I think it's very clever what they're doing.
I think that's why I think there are some people who are not sure about President Trump saying you're not going to pay dividends, you're not going to do buybacks unless you start ramping up the production and get our supply chains of these important products here.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I prefer not to reach into that part of the business.
Exactly. That's what I thought, because you're an investor.
But I understand where he's coming from. I'm very frustrated with these legacy companies. By the way, I built companies in lots of areas. I didn't want to have to build so much in defense. We had to get our best and brightest into defense because these guys were falling down on the job. So I understand why he's yelling at them. I agree. They shouldn't really be paying themselves massive dividends and salaries while not scaling. It's embarrassing. So 100% align with why he's angry at them. I might have taken a different approach.
I was with a defense guy recently, and he said to me, Maria, you don't understand how serious this is. We cannot make enough armaments fast enough. If China went into Taiwan today, we would not be able to stop it because we don't have the armament. Why is it that we are in this position that we can't make weapons fast enough?
Well, the solution is not going to come from the legacy primes. These guys outsourced all their supply chains. The best people left to the tech world, and we were left with a very broken defense ecosystem. And what we're doing right now is we're taking the best and brightest from what's best in America, which is our innovation ecosystem, and we're going in. It's going to be companies like Anduril, companies like Saronic, companies like Overland. We're going to scale it with new companies, Maria. It's not going to happen, frankly, with the old ones.
So is it drones? What specific products are you investing in and buying into? What do we need?
We need thousands of ships. We need thousands of drones. We need actual fighter jets and planes, including autonomous ones. You know, we need things on the land, the ground, in the air, and underwater.
Yeah, well, we should not be using Chinese drones. And for the longest time, we were buying drones from DJI, and we still have those drones in our arsenal.
And this is what companies in like Terra and Africa are doing. We're going to make drones, going to make remote control cars, make them autonomous with U.S. software. We're going to make sentry towers. You can watch the bad guys. We got to put these things in place.
Here's Secretary Duffy with me earlier in the program. Watch this.
Well, thanks to President Trump's leadership, not only in pursuing peace through strength, but in mandating that we rebuild the military and the industrial base and really change how things are done here at the department. This presents a great opportunity to invest and partner with industry to create growth and speed and volume in our munitions industrial base. Munitions is a starting place because we saw that as the greatest need for growth. You know, last week we announced a deal with Lockheed Martin where they agreed to make the investment of expansion of their factory space and tooling and all the required investments to triple their production capacity. That creates the demand signal that really makes this deal with Chris and L3 work. And, you know, with President Trump's leadership, absolutely manufacturing is a priority for us. Growing that industrial base and being self-reliant on our ability to supply munitions, systems, weapons across the board is going to be fundamental to achieving President Trump's peace through strength.
I'll tell you, I am so grateful that President Trump has put national security as the #1 priority and getting these supply chains to America. This is a serious national security issue. Finally, I'm seeing Silicon Valley get it, Joe. Okay. Now, unfortunately, they're facing some other issues. California's tech elite is rallying against this proposed one-time wealth tax on billionaires, 5% on billionaires. The proposal claims it's going to aim to fund education, food assistance, and health care, but it is facing huge pushback. What do we have? Like 6 or 10 billionaires have already left California. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang says he's fine paying up, while Peter Thiel and David Sachs signaling exits to lower tax states like Florida and Texas. Imagine the loss of tax revenue, jobs, investment when all these guys leave.
Yeah, it's crazy. Maria, a lot of people have already left. I know more than that already. The majority of people, when you poll them in this situation, say they'll leave if you do this. This is an expropriation, and it's ironic. It's coming from a healthcare union. We're about to lower healthcare prices with AI, with innovation. We're working really hard on it. The way you solve this problem, you don't expropriate. That's not American. That would break everything.
I mean, this is the clearest example yet that policy matters, isn't it?
It really is. And you know what? In some ways, it's nice to wake these guys up a little bit because it's wrong to take from them. There's no way we should ever take from them. But I love that they're like, wait a second. I have to get involved. I have to be a leader. I have to help solve the problems. Otherwise, this is going to break everything.
And do you expect that places like Texas and Florida are going to get bigger and bigger and richer and richer?
We're already bringing in all sorts of the top people to Texas. We're scaling up military production there. We're scaling up more of our companies there. It's going to be great for Florida and Texas.
That is great. Joe, great to get your take on all of this.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Joe Lonsdale joining us. Stay with us. We'll be right back. I think that we're going to be happy.